Hello, everyone. This is Father Son Galaxy. My name is Kerwin, and this is Keith.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to be doing something very cool. All right. Keith and I are big Marvel fans, but Keith more so. What we're going to do in this episode is Keith, not me. This is going to be yours. He is going to grade all of the MCU films, from Iron Man to the Marvels. All right. So this is going to be pretty interesting because I don't know what the grades are. I don't know what grades you're going to give them. Let's talk about the scale. So
Well,
first,
you know one.
I'm sorry.
You know one.
No, we'll talk about when we get there. Okay. So I've seen most of the films. Okay. There are some, one in particular, maybe I'll talk about it when we get to that film, that I had trouble getting through. So I was not able to finish it. There are others that I've seen once and then I just completely forgot about them after I saw it. So this is going to be interesting. All right. So the grading, S. So
For
we
like
have
superior.
S, right?
And
So
then we
S
have-
is going to be the top grade.
And then we
Okay.
have A, B, C, D, and F.
Right.
You know, letter grades.
Right. So just like if you're in school,
PTSD for me,
right?
basically.
So you don't want to get an F, okay? But there may be some films that'll get an F. Some might get a C. We don't know. We'll find out.
Some of them might be placed in the basement.
Yes, right. Okay. Some of them. I'm certain it's
Or
not
one
that
of them.
many, but we'll find out. Okay. Like I said, I have not seen this ranking. I have not seen the grading. Your
It'll be
grading. I don't
completely
know how this is-
unprecedented.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Okay. So we're going to start in order of release, starting with Iron Man, released in 2008. It kicked off Marvel Phase 1. What grade do you give Iron Man?
All right. Well, being the first movie, I'm giving that one an S tier.
Superior. Wow. Okay.
It was great. I mean, this is the movie that kickstarted the whole MCU. It really began it all with one of the best characters, that being Tony Stark. We really got his backstory. We get a little bit more of that in the later movies, but I feel like this was a really great intro.
Wow. Okay.
The
All
only
right.
weird thing is just they swapped out Terrence Howard for Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
later on.
That's.
I guess due wanted
yeah.
too much money. I mean, I feel like in the early stages of the MCU, they were kicking people out left and right, like Ed Norton. Tom Cruise was tapped to play Iron Man, but he didn't want a helmet. Terrence Howard got cut. They
Okay.
recast Goose. They're recasting Jennifer Ross. It's crazy out here.
Okay. All right. I don't know about all that. I do know about Terrence Howard. Yes, I really enjoyed Terrence Howard playing that role, Rhodey. But unfortunately, I think that is what happened. You know, Howard asked for more money, and
money.
MCU says no, thank you, and then they brought in Don Cheadle.
They said, thank you, next.
Yeah. So thank you next. But yeah. I really enjoyed him. I thought that, I thought he and Robert Downey Jr. had a very good chemistry in that film. So, okay, so superior. All right, not bad. Okay, so let's move on to the next film that was released in 2008, The Incredible Hulk. What rating do you give The Incredible Hulk starring Edward Norton?
I mean, honestly, The Incredible Hulk, it was... Nah, I'm kidding. I'll put it in B tier. I think it was pretty good, but there were just so many plot holes in the movie. Like, there was a reference to A-bomb. There was this dude who got infected with Hulk blood, and then 16 years later, we've, never followed up on it. But I don't think the movie was bad, per se. It's just, not my favorite.
Can I ask you, what did you think of Edward Norton's performance?
I think he was good, honestly. I kind of wish they kept him in. I like both Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo's performances. Maybe they'll bring back Ed Norton as an alternate universe version of the Hulk.
Yeah, you never know. Okay, this is one of the films where I said I watched it once and I haven't watched it again, and I don't remember much about it. So, okay, so this is a B. Let's move on.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll move on to the third film, Iron Man 2, released in 2010. What rating do you give Iron Man 2?
I think it'll join the Incredible Hulk in B tier. You know what? Scratch that.
All right.
I think I might even put it, dare I say, A tier.
Okay.
No, I'll leave it at B.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at B.
So let me just be clear. Do you have these ratings already in your head, or you think you're going to be changing them as? Oh, you don't.
I'm gonna make this up on the spot.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. All right. So
Ad lib.
you're giving Iron Man 2 a B. Okay.
Bump my head against a wall and call me Mark Hamill.
Why?
Can't see a thing in this helmet.
Okay, got it. Why a B?
I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. Just I feel like we didn't really get much of Whiplash or just a hammer. But the Mark V is a really good suit. I think it was really cool. We got a little bit more Happy Hogan. You know, he's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pretty good. All right. So Iron Man 2 is a B. All right. The next film, Thor, released in 2011. What rating do you give Thor?
I'm gonna throw Thor also B tier. I'm gonna put Iron Man 2 back in A tier. I'm gonna throw Thor into B tier.
Okay, wait a minute. All right, so look, so you're changing Iron Man 2 to an A.
Iron Man 2 is gonna be A tier.
Okay, so here's what we should do, Keith. You should try to see if you can be consistent with the rating. Okay. All right, so
Sure.
you're giving it an A.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's
I'm
try
giving it a D. You know what?
let's try to solidify these grades. Okay, so Iron Man 2 is now an A. Okay. All right. So Thor, you're giving a B. Okay, tell me about Thor.
I think Thor was a very good start to a new character. I liked Loki even from the beginning, which is kind of unfair because I think I saw Thor after I saw Thor Ragnarok, and I feel like Loki was a bigger character then. But for a 2011 movie where Thor was completely disconnected from the rest of the MCU, it's very good.
Okay.
Very, very good. Very good.
I did enjoy Thor. I liked it. I thought the chemistry with Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman and the supporting cast and Tim Hiddleston as Loki did very well.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston is like the best.
Yeah. So it's funny that Hiddleston actually went out to play. Well, he wanted to play Thor.
Exactly.
Can you imagine him as Thor? I can't see it. I can't see it.
He'd be like a conniving Thor.
Yeah, but Loki was really up his alley. So I couldn't see him being anything else but Loki. Anyone else? All right. So Thor has a B. Let's move on. Captain America: The First Avenger, released in 2011. What do you give the first Captain America film?
I think I'm gonna give the first Captain America film a B tier. And like I said, it wasn't bad. I think it was a good establishment, but it was a little long,
Okay.
little expository-ish.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
And Bucky, man, they did Bucky so extremely dirty.
Okay.
He fell off a train, Dad.
Now that's okay. That's pretty interesting
They did it
because
dastardly.
I did like Captain America. I believe I've only seen it once because you just mentioned a scene that I don't even remember. So I guess it wasn't that memorable for me. But I do remember most of the film. I remember him getting his superpowers and Peggy Carter, and but I didn't remember Bucky in the film. So
Bucky was in it.
Played by Sebastian Stan. Okay.
Yeah, remember he saved Steve from getting beat up.
Oh, okay.
And
It's
the
been a
dude
long
was
time.
too shrimpy to join the army, so
Okay.
he beefed up with the super soldier serum.
Got it. Okay. All right. And at the time, he was Bucky. He was not the Winter Soldier. He wasn't.
Yes.
His mind wasn't.
He was James
Brainwashed.
Buchanan Barnes.
Got it. Okay. All right. So now we got Captain America: The First Avenger. You gave that a B rating. All right, and that moves us to the first Avengers movie that came out in 2012. What grade do you give the Avengers?
I'm giving it an S tier.
S. All right. Okay.
For
right
a
next.
movie that brought together 4 established characters and 2 unestablished characters, those being Black Widow and Hawkeye, it did a very great job of meshing them all together, introducing us to our first MCU team-up movie. It was fantastic. It was a masterpiece, a masterclass in writing a good story.
Okay. I would agree with you. I definitely remember the Avengers. In addition to bringing all these superheroes together, which of course is very difficult to do, but you also had a recast, another recast, right? So
Yeah.
no Edward Norton, but we got Mark Ruffalo instead.
I'm sure that was surprising.
Okay, and how did you feel about his performance?
Well, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know Ed Norton existed until like last year.
Right.
And I just now saw the movie, so I saw all of Mark Ruffalo's performances before I saw Ed Norton's. I feel like I'm a little biased to him.
I completely understand that. Yeah, I think it was just a seamless transition, moving from Edward Norton to Ruffalo. I thought he just fit right in. It was everybody had chemistry. It was wonderful. It had some great moments in the film. You'll never forget that moment where you see the camera is moving in a circle and and you hear the theme and they're in the middle of New York City. Yeah, that's a classic. That's an iconic scene. I agree with you with that. Okay, so we got 2 S's, right? Iron Man and the Avengers. We got 3 B's, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man,
Thor.
Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Captain America: First Avenger. And we have 1A, Iron Man 2. All right, and that is phase 1. We're moving on to phase 2. Okay, so now we have, next up, Iron Man 3, released in 2013. Keith, what rating grade do you give Iron Man 3?
I'll throw that boy in as C tier.
Okay.
To the dungeons! No, I'm kidding. Yeah. There's way worse.
So it's mid.
It was. What did you just say?
Mid? Mid-level is what I'm meaning.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, C is mid-level. Yes.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
I don't really like Aldrich Killian. He just felt like a really weird villain. It felt like The Incredibles to me. Like, the main character disrespects a dude years ago and he gets really upset about it, and then he becomes bent on destroying that dude's future, ties him up in shackles, but the main character also has a friend with a super suit who helps fight crime, and at the end they all join together as a group and defeat the villain.
Okay, all right.
Who gets taken out by his own flaws.
Who is the main villain in this film?
Killian. Played
by... What's the name of the character? The full name?
Aldrich Killian. Okay,
was that who is the name of that character? Actor. I can't remember the name right now. Okay, all right. But anyway, Mandarin, played by Ben Kingsley, right?
Well, Mandarin was a front.
Well, right, exactly. I think that's what threw me off to the film. That's what I remember. When
he was an actor, he wasn't a real
man. At first we thought, okay, well, this is the villain of the film, and it turned out to not be a villain. He was just an actor, which I couldn't quite understand. I think it's Sam Rockwell. Is that the actor who played?
That's Justin Hammer.
Okay, so that's in another movie. Okay, yeah. As you can see, Iron Man 3 is not one of my favorites. All right, so you give that a C.
Yeah. All
right. Okay, so let's move on to Thor: The Dark World. Released in 2013. What do you give Thor: The Dark World? What's the...
I'll give it C tier. By the way, one thing that kind of annoys me about between the Avengers and Iron Man 3, or Iron Man 3 in general, Tony Stark was just angsty and PTSD-ish for the whole movie.
In the third movie?
Yeah, he had drama from the Avengers. For whatever reason.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude was terrified. Also, he went from like Mark 7 to Mark 42 in a year.
And that's the suit?
Yeah.
Okay.
He went from Mark 1 to Mark 7 in 4 years, but he went from 7 to 42 in a single year.
So you're saying he had multiple suits in between?
Yes.
And it's not possible to go from 7 to 42.
I don't know how he did that.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right, very interesting. Anything else we want to say about Thor: The Dark World?
I will say Thor, it's all right.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Also, you can one of the things that was fun about watching this movie is like in the Lego game, I could recreate some of the scenes because I bought the Asgard expansion DLC with my own money, and first of all the characters are free to get in the Avengers in the second game, so I don't know why I bought them except for completionist sake. Also, bruh,
What does that mean?
Malekith.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
He
Tell
just
me.
kept getting charcoalier and charcoalier.
Yeah, you're okay. Now here's the thing. Thor: Dark World. I'll be honest with you. I have not seen that.
It really was a dark world.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I heard it was a very dark film. You have to explain to me about this charcoal. I don't know.
So the thing is, so Malekith takes out Thor's mom, Frigga, and
Ooh,
Thor
yeah.
throws his hammer at him, and lightning strikes half his face and like
Wow.
chars it.
Okay.
So that's how he looks for most of the movie. And then dude
Ooh.
sucks the aether out of Jane Foster, and then just the other half of his face is just getting darker and darker, coming to like soot
I see.
and ash
Okay.
and something.
Who was the actor to play this character?
I don't know.
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay. Anything else about Thor: The Dark World?
No.
Okay. All right. So that's the C. All right. Okay. Let's move on to Captain America: The Winter Soldier, released in 2014. What grade do you give The Winter Soldier?
A tier. I feel like it was
A.
a great spy thriller. You know, it was everything Secret Invasion should have been.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I like that. I think that's a very good comparison too, because it did feel like a spy thriller.
Yeah, because you know, even though we had quote unquote superpowered characters,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like another romp where we had a bunch of superpowered people just blowing up in a whole city and then calling it a day. It was like you had the intrigue, you had the depth of like Alexander Pierce betraying Nick Fury,
Yeah.
and how Nick Fury's still reeling from the loss of Coulson, and how S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting taken out by Hydra. There's all sorts of traitors, and Cap and Black Widow and Nick Fury are trying to work together to take out Hydra. It was awesome. Nick Fury faked his own death.
Yeah. Yeah. And the action scenes were wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The
And we had
elevator
Bucky.
scene. Yeah.
Bucky, guys.
How about that?
Bucky.
Okay. All right. It seemed like a
I don't know
lot
if the
going on in
main-
that film, but to me, it really kept it all together.
I think the main villain was Bucky.
The main villain was Bucky. Okay. Okay. All right. And Alexander Pierce, right? You know, he was.
I mean, he wasn't. I mean,
Well, we
he
didn't know
have
for
that much
sure.
screen time.
Okay, yeah, but we didn't know for sure what
He
side
was
he was
like
on
a
until
twist
the very
villain
end.
at the end.
Got it. Right. Okay. All right. So that is an A, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy, released in 2014. What grade do you give Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, you know me. I love the Guardians.
Yes, you're a big fan of the Guardians. And that is
S tier.
how about that? All right.
Our introduction to the Guardians of the Galaxy, perfect. Little Easter egg I noticed. The Guardians movie starts with Star-Lord dancing by himself, and the trilogy ends with everybody dancing together to the same music.
One big happy family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked how the way they brought the band together wasn't contrived. It's not like, oh, he crash lands on this planet, and then he meets this lady who knows this dude, and this dude's got a tree friend, and then this other guy shows up, and he's like, hey, I'll join you. It's like, no, you know, she was after him because he had the Power Stone, and then Rocket and Groot were also after Star-Lord, so they all got thrown in prison, and that's where they met Drax. They escaped together, teamed up, but Gamora has an evil sister named Nebula, who's like working with this dude Ronan.
Okay. All right.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good show.
Got it. Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. Very good. So that is S, superior. All right. So far, 3 superior films, in your opinion. All right. Let's move on. Avengers: Age of Ultron, released in 2015.
A for Avengers and Age.
Okay.
It was a very good movie. I like. It's weird to me. It's just so weird to me that Quicksilver was established and taken out in like the same movie. They speed ran his character development, which is funny because he's a speedster. But at least Scarlet Witch got to stick around
Yeah.
for her, albeit short time on screen.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Overall, but you did like the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it. I enjoy how Ultron is kind of like a commentary on modern day AI. It's meant to be good, but then all of a sudden it pops up. You don't know what it's doing or what its motive is. It's self aware. It's taken over. I'm not saying that's what AI is doing. It feels like Terminator, but for kids.
Yeah, I like that.
Avengers is really for kids. For people who don't have the stamina to watch Terminator.
No, I completely understand it.
Or the age.
Now, okay, so now if you could remind me, why was Ultron created in the first place? Who created Ultron and why?
Oh, so in the comics it's supposed to be Hank Pym, but in this movie it's Tony Stark.
Okay.
He wanted to quote unquote put a suit of armor around the world. So Ultron interfaces with Jarvis, and then it's like blah, kills Jarvis. And then Ultron takes over and he's like, there are no strings on me. I'll make this world peaceful by killing everybody in it, and then I can have my peace and quiet.
Interesting. Okay.
So
right.
Ultron tries to get Vision, but the twins, Pietro and Wanda, realize what he's up to. So they help the Avengers steal Vision and bring him back to their lab, where he becomes a good guy.
Nice. Okay. All right. That is Avengers: Age of Ultron. You give that an A. Okay. Moving on.
Speaking of A.
Yes, go ahead. To the last film in Marvel Phase 2, Ant-Man, released in 2015. What grade do you give Ant-Man?
Oh, yeah, I love Ant-Man.
Nice. Another A.
Movie.
All right. Very good.
It was a really great movie, you know? And
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like it was really fun. It wasn't too violent, you had a villain who was like, bruh.
Tell me about the villain, bruh.
So the villain is this guy named Darren Cross. He is a billionaire, but he's kind of upset because Hank Pym has this awesome shrink tech, but he's not letting anyone have it. So he steals it and recreates it. By the way, Hank Pym even worked with S.H.I.E.L.D. with Peggy Carter at some point.
Okay.
That's in the flashback.
Okay. And is Yellow Jacket, is that the name of the villain?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Very cool. All right. So let's take a look at Phase 2 here. Wrap up Phase 2. So we have a C for Iron Man 3, C for Thor: The Dark World, A for Captain America: The Winter Soldier, S Superior for Guardians of the Galaxy, A for Avengers: Age of Ultron, and A for Ant-Man. Not bad. All right. So that's Marvel Phase 2. All right. We're going to move on to Marvel Phase 3. Now, this is the phase that had quite a few movies going on here. So this is pretty big. All right. We're going to start with Captain America: Civil War, released in 2016. What grade do you give Captain America: Civil War?
Looks like we have our first F tier. Nah, I'm kidding. I couldn't do that. It's gotta be S tier, man.
Superior, right? Yeah.
It was like basically Avengers 2.5. It helped establish Infinity War, like 5 movies before Infinity War actually happened. I feel like it was really awesome how each character's motivation was established. Like Cappy, like, I don't want freedom, and Tony saying, no, we need regulation. Because he knows, like, Sokovia, that opening scene where that lady comes up to him and she says, hey, you took out my son in Sokovia, He was on Sokovia when you blew it up. That's the cost of your actions. So he's like, we got to stop this. But Cap, being the symbol of patriotism and freedom, he naturally doesn't want to have to answer to some government.
Yeah. This is Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. I love this film. All right.
And it was the first time we saw Spider-Man.
Yes, exactly. There's so many things done right in this movie. Right. Introducing Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Come on, boy.
Yeah. How about that? And that airport hangar scene.
Oh yeah,
where
that is a real airport, by the way.
Yeah, where the Cap team and Iron Man's team are coming together. It's right out of a cartoon animated series.
Cartoon.
No. It just reminds me of back in the day when we watched
Looney Tunes.
No. Okay, and now I have to explain to you because I know this is way back. So there was a show. We're talking about DC for a little bit. There was a show called Challenge of the Super Friends. All right. And we had, the Super Friends versus the Legion of Doom, right? These villains. If you look at the credits, you've never seen it, but in the credits, you can see the Super Friends going up against the Legion of Doom, and they're going head to head, and then it's right there, and then they, explosion in the middle, and then you see Challenger. No, it's not X-Men.
No, but they did that in the X-Men opening where all the villains and all the heroes are running at each other, and that's an explosion.
Exactly.
You see the X-Men logo.
That's exactly what they did. And see, they got that from Challenger the Super Friends, because this came out back in the 70s. So they stole it from DC. Anyway. But that's exactly when I saw that happening with Cap and Iron Man's team, and they're all going at each other. It's like, excellent. That is a comic book film, right? It just jumped right out of the pages of the comic books. I loved it. Okay. Am I talking too much?
No, absolutely not. I've been since 4.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. All right. This is okay. All right. So I totally agree with you on this one. Captain America Civil War. All right. Moving on. Doctor Strange, 2016.
A tier.
Okay.
I like the movie.
Okay.
I mean, we got Doctor Strange. What can I say?
Okay. So you're giving this an A, but you don't have much to say about it. You seem a little.
I mean, it was like Doctor Strange. I mean, it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay, so you like his performance. Okay. The movie, maybe not so much, but you're still giving it an A?
I mean, I liked Dormammu. That CGI was excellent.
Okay, yeah, very good. It did have very good visual effects. Okay. All right. Anything else we want to say about Doctor Strange?
No.
Okay. Moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, released in 2017. What grade do you give the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'll give it an S tier.
You're giving it an S. Interesting. All right. So wait a second here. So you gave Guardians. So you're giving both Guardians of the Galaxy films S.
I might even give it all 3.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't have to give that away. We didn't get to the third.
I said I might.
Oh, you might. Okay. Well, that's interesting. All right. So now I'm not going to even tell you what my opinion of the film. But
tell me.
No, I could, because I don't remember it. I don't even know if I watched. I don't even remember if I watched it or not.
Oh, I'll refresh your memory.
Yeah, please.
So basically, Star-Lord finds his dad, Ego.
Ah, right.
But Ego is evil.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to siphon Star-Lord's power so he can create other him planets.
Okay.
And rule the world. Basically. So then they meet Mantis, who's like... She's like Ego's melatonin or whatever. She helps him sleep by using her mind power thingies, and she's like, he's evil, you gotta get out of here. And also Groot's a baby now because he blew up in the first Guardians.
Gotcha. And
his seedling is this baby Groot.
Okay.
Just the absolute best part of the movie.
All right. Okay. All right. So you give that an S. Fine with me. Wonderful.
Are you insulted?
No, I'm not insulted. I'm just surprised, because, when I hear people talk about the sequel, they don't give it as much of a high rating as the first one. It seems to me. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It had all the blue people in it.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
The blues.
Okay. All right. Next one. Spider-Man Homecoming, released in 2017. Tom Holland's first Spider-Man film. You give this one an A.
Yep.
Okay.
I love Spidey.
Yeah.
In fact, I got the dude's suit right here.
There you go.
That's him from this movie. It's either him from this movie or Civil War. I have Cap's Winter Soldier thing too. I love the movie. Like, it started Spider-Man. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I would say it's my second favorite.
Okay.
But it's a very good movie.
Okay. I like that.
And Vulture. I like him as a villain.
Yeah. Very good. How about that? Michael Keaton playing the Vulture. Formerly Batman. And then he came back as Batman. So,
isn't that funny?
Yeah.
He still has wings.
This still has wings. All right. Very good. So that's Spider-Man Homecoming. You gave that an A.
Yeah. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
There you go. All right. Let's keep going. Thor Ragnarok. Released in 2017. What's the grade for Thor Ragnarok?
All right. Well, you know me.
I know you.
You know I love Thor.
I know you love Thor. Yeah, I know this is your favorite Thor film. There we go. All right. Not a surprise.
Heck yeah.
Superior.
S
okay.
tier.
Yes.
I mean, we had Thor and Loki teaming up. We had a new character, Valkyrie, Korg, being the absolute best part of the movie, just being so hilarious. I like the Grandmaster as well. Like,
Yeah.
dude was kind of funny. I mean, you know
Jeff
what they say?
Goldblum. Yeah.
And the Hulk came through, and he was. And
Friend from work.
Grandmaster should have said, you know what they say, life finds a way. That would have been funny. And Thor's like, yes, I know him. He's a friend from work. Fun story. That actually came from a Make-A-Wish kid. He's
Yeah.
like, wouldn't it be funny if he said, yay, it's Hulk. He's a friend from work.
And it stood that scene just stands out, right? So
I know him. He's a friend from work.
I thought it was very risky, going from, so this is the third Thor film that they went from a film that's probably one of the more darker MCU
Thor,
films.
rockstar punk boy, humor.
To, right, a very funny Thor film, right? And who would have thought that it would work? That Chris
also
Hemsworth,
the highest rated Thor movie.
Yeah,
I think it's like 93% Rotten Tomatoes. Hela is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he
crushed that hammer.
Hemsworth
walk
is very
right
funny.
out.
Yeah, and his relationship with Loki and Hiddleston together on the screen.
Like, I remember when he turned
like
into a snake and he stabbed me.
Yeah,
we were kids.
they're like a comedy duo. It was pretty good. And then you got Ruffalo again as the Hulk, and Valkyrie is there. Tessa Thompson. You're right. This was a great film. And it also had a great villain, Hela. We talked about Hela and What If, Kate Blanchett. Wonderful. She really made that film, great villain. So I'm totally in agreement with you on that one. All right, so that's Thor Ragnarok. Next up, Black Panther, 2017. What rating do we give the Black
I don't know
Panther?
why, but in my head, Black Panther was 2018.
Okay, I have it here. You might be right. Actually, you know what? You're right. Okay, I have it. Okay, we're going to correct that. So 2018. And I remember going to see that in February. Yeah, 2018. What rating?
I'll give it an 8 here.
All right, an A. All right, let's talk about it.
Well, first off, I would just like to say that Claw and Killmonger were just an epic team,
I agree.
And the funny part is, Claw actually was in Age of Ultron. He lost his hand because Ultron was like, "Don't compare me to Stark," and cut his arm off.
Ooh, okay.
He was like, "Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that."
Yeah.
Which feels like a very surprising reaction because you just cut a dude's arm off. Anyway.
Yeah, Black Panther was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
We
got T'Challa, we had some representation in the MCU, like a black main character.
Absolutely.
For like the first time. We had Rhodey and we had Falcon, but they were side characters in somebody else's movie,
That's correct. Yeah. A wonderful cast. I mean, from top to bottom. There was no bad performance in this film. It was wonderful. It had a talented writer and director, Ryan Coogler. He didn't make that many films in the past, but he is just extremely talented, and he was able to pull this off. And this is $1 billion movie among some of the others. But yeah,
I mean, this dude even pulled off Wakanda Forever in light of Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, exactly. But Black Panther is just. I don't know if you can. I don't know. They may make another Black Panther film, but I don't know if it will ever rival the first one. So
I don't think they will, honestly.
Yeah, it was that was golden back in 2018. All right, next up, Avengers: Infinity War.
Avengers!
2018.
Assemble!
What grade are we giving Avengers: Infinity War?
It's gotta be S tier.
All right,
it's gotta be S tier.
I don't disagree.
I mean, you threw in the Avengers, you threw in Guardians, you put in Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, grabbed Thanos and the Stones, blended that up, and served it to me in a MCU glass, and that was Infinity War, and it was awesome. I don't appreciate what you did to Gamora, Thanos. I don't appreciate that, Thanos.
Well, okay.
Yeah, the funny part is that wasn't actually part of the plan for Guardians 3. Gamora wasn't. She was supposed to be in Guardians 3, so.
Okay, all right. Well.
Poor James Gunn had to think on the spot.
Got it. Yeah, this was an incredible film. It took my breath away when I saw the ending, and I had no idea what was going on, but my
They're
mouth
dead.
just dropped.
They're dead. They're all
And,
dead.
you know, it just felt like, I don't know what was going on, like I was seeing the rapture. You know,
Wouldn't it have been crazy if
yeah.
the MCU just ended there?
Oh man, you can't say that. No, that would have been. Oh, that's. I don't know. My heart was pounding, and I just saw these characters just, you know, just floating away, and had no idea what was going on. And I'm looking at Chris Evans. I mean, his best performance.
Yeah,
as
I mean,
Captain America,
they
I
turned
think,
more
in that
dusty
film.
than me at 3 a.m.
Okay, all right, whatever that means. All right. I go back and forth as whether this film and another film, we'll talk about that later, is my number one film. But I really enjoy
What's your
Infinity
number
War.
one? Empire Strikes Back.
No, I'm talking about
Essentially-
MCU.
Essentially, Infinity War is like the
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back of
I absolutely agree.
Marvel.
Yes, right, because the villain won at the end, right?
Yeah, then
I love
Endgame
that.
is like the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's why I absolutely love this film. Avengers Infinity War. All right, moving on. Ant-Man and the Wasp, 2018.
All right. Dare I say, I'm going to throw Ant-Man and the Wasp B tier.
B tier, okay. All right.
It used to be one of my favorite movies. Rewatched it a few times, and I'm like, it wasn't that good.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. Almost that.
Can I say something?
No.
Okay.
Nah, I'm kidding. You can say it.
Can I tell you something? I don't remember if you and I saw it together, but I remember seeing the film. And I'll tell you, I wasn't really that much interested into the film, but I wanted to know, I was ready for the end credit because I wanted to see exactly how this was going to tie into the snap. And then that was the end.
Yeah, the Janet, Hank, and Hope said, bye-bye.
Right,
So-
exactly. Yeah, that, to me, the end credits, the post-credit scene was the best part of the film, unfortunately.
They just said, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then they left for 5 years.
Yes.
And then they came on back.
That's right. Okay. All right. So that's Ant-Man and the Wasp. You gave that a B. Moving on. Next film, Captain Marvel from 2019. Okay. What grade do you give Captain Marvel?
C tier.
Okay.
There's some things that you don't need to know about characters. And one of those is how Nick Fury lost an eye. And the fact that he lost his eye to a cat? Right? Huh? Right? Like, that's one of the things about Nick Fury that I really enjoyed not knowing about him, dare I say. Like, I just like that we were never going to find it out. And then Goose the cat took his eye out. It wasn't in some valiant battle. It wasn't because he trusted the wrong person. It's because he held the cat scratched his eye.
Yeah. I had some problems with this film as well.
I mean, Captain Marvel, she just did the glowy fist and blew stuff up for most of the movie. And I remember this one scene where Yon-Rogg was like, you know, Carol, I'm proud of you. And then she straight up threw the dude into some rocks. Like, Yon-Rogg was supposed to be the opposition. Then they had a battle and she won. And he was like, you know what, Carol, I'm so proud of you. I trained you well. She threw him into some rocks. And she said, I don't need your approval. And I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Like, yikes.
Okay. All right. Well.
Like, I get that he was the opposition, but dude wasn't just complimenting himself. He was saying you've gone further than he could have ever trained you. Like, you had to throw him into some rocks. Then she tossed him into a spaceship and set him back up.
Yeah. I understand. Captain Marvel is not one of my favorite MCU films either.
They made it better with the Marvels.
Yeah.
Adding Kamala Khan to anything just makes it so much better.
I agree with you, and we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so that's a C for Captain Marvel. Next up, Avengers Endgame 2019. And you give that, yep, no surprise there. That is an S.
I got back my boy Peter. It's perfect.
Yeah. And like you said, Endgame to me is the Return of the Jedi. You know, everybody
came back.
Yeah.
Avengers!
Yeah.
Assemble!
Yeah. Can I share a story with you?
Why not?
Yes. So Unfortunately I could not see Avengers Endgame when it first premiered, like the first weekend, because that's the time when you're going to have the theater's going to be packed. You're going to have people cheering and yelling, and I
didn't
like
get to
that.
see it either.
Yeah, I
They left
like
me behind.
going to see a film like that. Okay, this is not about you. Can I tell my story? Okay, here we go. All right. So, but your mom and I did go see the film, but we
Without
saw
me.
it. Well, Keith, how old were you?
Like 8?
Okay, all right. So you didn't go. All right, don't worry about it. So we went to see the film in a matinee, and there might have been less than 10 people in the movie theater, and the two of us, we were the ones that was making the most noise in the theater. I
believe it.
Yeah, I mean that scene when they start to come back and you heard uh, uh, Anthony Mackie's voice and he says "Cap" on your left, and then I just I couldn't contain myself. It was just a wonderful time. Again, I wish I saw it with a crowd. That would have been hype. That's the kind of movie that you need to see with a group of people. It's got to be a packed theater. I love that. So I agree with you. Anything? What do you want to say about Endgame? Anything else?
I mean, it was good.
Okay.
No,
All right.
not just good. It was superior.
Okay.
Superior Spider-Man.
How did you feel about the ending? With Captain America, Steve retiring, giving the shield to Sam?
I'm still not over the fact that they took out Tony Stark.
Yeah, that was tough.
And Black Widow.
That was that. Yeah.
And Captain America in the same movie.
That was
like Infinity War and Endgame had higher death tolls than literally the rest of the MCU.
Yeah.
Like they took out Gamora, Vision, Loki, Heimdall, and then Tony, Natasha.
Yeah.
Cap retired, and apparently he's dead too.
Yeah.
I don't know. They never confirmed it. I don't feel like counting that.
I got to say that is, it's one of the best MCU films, and it's actually the most emotional film for me to watch, but I loved it. Again, so Infinity War, Endgame, for now, I would say if I were to rank the top two, I think I put Infinity War a little bit over Endgame.
You would.
I would, yeah.
You would.
Yeah. So
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, well, thank you. Don't leave me alone.
That's a good thing.
All right, no, it is a good
Strikes
thing.
Back.
Yeah, look, hey, I could talk about The Empire Strikes Back for 2 hours. All right, wonderful. Moving on. Next film, Spider-Man: Far From Home, 2019. What are we giving Far From Home? What grade?
No. It's not just S tier. It is above S tier, like God tier.
This is S.
Freaking God tier. Okay, that movie
is your favorite.
Oh my God!
Film,
it's Spider-Man.
Please tell me.
And Nick Fury and Mysterio all in one movie.
Yeah.
And it's a road trip movie.
Yeah.
And you got like these big CGI water and fire monsters. My God, it was amazing.
Okay. All right. That is your favorite.
I love that movie so much.
I just want to confirm that is your favorite MCU. Movie. Okay. Yeah.
I like to watch it on planes because.
Yeah, why not?
They fly around the world.
Well, that's excellent. Okay.
On a class trip. Isn't that funny? He's on a class trip and he's still Spider-Man.
It was a good blend of humor and action and suspense. Having Happy Hogan there. It was a great cast. Another film with a great cast. Everybody did well. I liked how MJ and Peter's relationship started to go to the next level.
And she also figured out that he was Spider-Man herself. I mean, it would have been even more suspicious if the dude just showed up in his regular suit in Prague. Yeah.
My favorite part of this film is seeing their relationship grow. How they become, they became close. And you saw a star in the making. Well, 2 stars in the making, Tom Holland and Zendaya. Like something was there. There was a chemistry there. Something was working with the two of them, and apparently it's still working as far as we know as of today. So they were perfect together. Wonderful. All right. Okay, and that ends Marvel Phase 3. Not bad. So we only gave 1 B and 1 C. All the others S and A. Not bad. Good phase, right? Probably the best phase so far.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on let's move on to Phase 4. starting with Black Widow 2021. Now, remember, Black Widow was supposed to be a theatrical release, right? But because of COVID.
Yeah, they threw that stuff on Disney Plus and
Yes.
slapped a $30 price tag on that bad
I
boy.
do remember us paying that movie, paying for that movie. Yes, you're right.
I regret it.
What?
I deeply regret it.
What grade do you give Black Widow?
I think I'm.
Ooh,
It's hovering.
okay.
It's hovering.
Oh, you're playing with us. What's it
I'm gonna
gonna
be nice because it's Black Widow.
Okay, so we're giving it a C. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
First off,
So no D's and no F's so far.
Taskmaster.
Uh-huh.
My God, what did they do to Taskmaster?
Yeah.
So in the comic books, like Taskmaster is this expert tactician, and he's kind of got the same power Echo does. He is great at mimicking things. He can perceive other people's abilities, and then he can mock those, which is awesome. But Taskmaster in this movie was just kind of emotionless.
Yeah.
Like, just, man. I fight you.
Yeah.
I fight you right now. Bam, bam.
I would say the best part of this film was probably
Yelena.
Yelena, yeah.
Yeah, Yelena was like, Natasha, it was real to me.
Yeah.
I know they weren't your real family, but they were my real family.
Yeah. And David Harbour was pretty good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Red Guardian, yeah.
I mean, you got Hopper and anything. It's
How about
perfect.
that? Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I agree with you. I did not like the villain at all. I can't remember the villain's name.
Oh yeah, Dracov, that absolute creep.
Yeah, the yes, he was. The actor is Ray Winstone.
He's a good actor.
Well,
but
okay.
Why did they do that to him?
Yeah, it was not very good. Yeah. So I'm in agreement with you, Black Widow. It was. I would not consider it one of my favorite MCU films.
I want my $30 back.
It's too late for that. All right, so that is a C. Moving on. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, released in 2021. And the grade you're giving Shang-Chi is...
Oh, what about Shang-Chi came before Eternals.
Yes.
I am going to put Shang-Chi in S tier.
You've got quite a few superior films in there. All right, so that is an S. Tell me.
Shang-Chi was excellent, man. Simu Liu and Awkwafina's acting skills were absolutely top-notch. I feel like amidst all the Disney Plus shows and Eternals and Black Widow, I feel like it was the best part of Phase 4. Because it felt more grounded, It focused less on the big CGI budget action shots, like Black Widow. You know that scene where Yelena's like, "It's been fun, Natasha," and then she's about to stab those Black Widow batons into that propeller. You can just see the green screen edging on Yelena. That's the type of green screen I do when I throw a Lego minifigure in front of a green backdrop and edit it out in iMovie. It's just like,
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So Shang-Chi, you and I went to see this together.
Yeah.
It was good. I thought, like most Marvel films, towards the end, the last third of the movie, it's just this big bang, boom, loud fights that really didn't make any sense or was unnecessary, was over the top.
All the CGI.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I agree. But wasn't there like a dragon or some type of...
Oh, yeah, there was a big dragon.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah.
It's a bunch of evil souls.
It was a lot, in the last few minutes.
And the Avengers, they had a bunch of Fly Chitauri, a dude with magic abilities, and a big old Leviathan, and then Tony Stark flew a freaking rocket into outer space, where there was this big ship, and these other Leviathans, and more Chitauri. I mean... And then Hulk was flying across the New York buildings. We have so many origin stories set there. Remember B-15's original branch life was New York in 2012. Kate Bishop was there. She saw Hawkeye. She saw him jump off a building.
This was in the comics?
No. This was in the MCU.
Oh.
Yeah, she watched him jump off a building.
Are we talking about the
Disney? In a cool way.
Okay, got it. All right.
When he does that shot where he's falling off the building.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, you give that a superior grade. Moving on. Eternals, released in 2021. Keith, What grade do you give?
Thankfully, I watched that on Disney Plus. I didn't have to pay for tickets.
All right, so there we go. There's a D. All right, the first D.
I feel like out of all of the Phase 4 movies, Eternals is the one that really should have been a Disney Plus show. Because we had 10 characters that were all just shoved into this one movie, and we really didn't get to see all of their motivations and drives. We really only focused on, like, Icarus and Sassy and Thena. And, like, those were really our main focuses. Like, Thena was besties with Gilgamesh, and then she lost her mind when they took out Gilgamesh. And Kingo, Camille Nanjiani, he just didn't want any of it. He left. And then Sprite, the soda, they were like, I don't like any of you. And then stabbed Cersei, but then Cersei said to the soda bottle, like, you know, I'll make you a child, because Sprite always wanted to be a child. I mean, what? It was so much to fit in one movie that they just, it didn't work.
I got you. All right, so you remember at the beginning I said that there were some movies that I did not watch or I just couldn't get through?
Yeah.
This is the one that I couldn't get through. I just couldn't do it. So up to this point, I have not seen, I might have seen maybe the first 5 minutes of this film, and then I just tuned out. Yeah.
I wouldn't waste my brain space on it.
All right, so Eternals, the first D from 2021. Okay, moving on to the next film, Spider-Man: No Way Home, released in 2021.
Get that garbage off my screen.
Keith gives Spider-Man: No Way Home the first F. Now, I am absolute disagreement with this, but I'm going to let you speak.
Get that garbage off my screen.
Absolute disagreement, but go ahead.
So, for starters, they took one of the best remaining characters in the MCU and went through complete character assassination of this dude. They took his friends, they took Aunt May, and they said, Aunt May, you don't get to live. Whoa! Threw her out. Dude was about to forgive Green Goblin. Like, Tobey Maguire. Tobey, you were so great. Why would you step in? Like, do you want to fight him again? Is that why you saved him? I mean, this is the same dude who tried to take out your Aunt May, tried to take out your MJ, and tried to take out you. You went through so much pain and suffering all because this dude couldn't be bothered to tell his own son that he was the Green Goblin, and you want to spare his life? And then the absolute ingrate that the Green Goblin was stabbed him in the back. The dude just tried to save you from getting impaled by your own glider for a second time, and you stab him in the back, and then they ridiculed Doctor Strange in an absolute mockery of him, just like in Multiverse of Madness. He got defeated by a kid using webs and math.
Yeah.
A master of the mystic arts and the former Sorcerer Supreme got stuck in his own dimension that he mastered himself by a kid with webs and math. I don't understand how that is possible.
So please tell me why you don't like this movie.
That's why.
I'm just kidding.
And also.
Yeah, well, what else? Just let me know when you're done.
Happy Hogan and MJ and Ned and Strange and all the other Avengers. None of them remember him.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
So why not just erase everything that happened in the MCU? Why not? Like, it doesn't matter. Never did. All his past experiences. Nobody remembers him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we saw this together. I've only seen this movie once, and it's not because I did not like it.
Let's go into the dungeon.
I very much enjoyed this film. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it again.
So that's an F+.
We are in complete disagreement with this movie because I would have put this much, much higher. This to me would have been an A.
I would put it much, much lower.
That's fine.
If I had a below F tier, it would have been 10 floors below it.
You've made your point. All right. But again, I don't agree. However, I do understand what you're saying. I mean, I think this movie, after, what happens in the end where Peter walks away and all of a sudden, no one knows that he's Spider-Man.
And Peter made an absolute stupid decision to not tell his friends.
Yeah. I don't know why they did that.
And the
Well-
stupid part is that this whole spell could have been prevented if Doctor Strange used the years of mystical experience that he had to sit down and talk to this angsty 18-year-old and be like, sit down. I'm not casting this spell. Or read out a list of everybody that he wanted to remember. The Avengers, him, his friends, Happy, his Aunt May, this whole thing would have been prevented.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Or
I
he
think
could have just eliminated that entirely
Yeah.
and cast a spell to forget Mysterio. Because if you forget Mysterio, none of this happens
Yeah.
at all.
I don't know why Strange allowed Peter to talk him into casting the spell in the first place.
Exactly.
That's a very good point. Again, I would not give it an F, but I understand your points. All right.
All right, I'm done yelling.
All right.
I'm done yelling.
Very good. All right. So Spider-Man No Way Home, the first F. Moving on. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 2022. Keith.
Bye-bye.
That is a D. All right. Yes. What do you want to say about the Multiverse of Madness?
Once again, they just completely character assassinated Scarlet Witch. Like, in WandaVision, the ending is like she comes to terms with everything that happened. She lets go of Vision and the kids and the fake world and all the people she had trapped. And then she's ready to move on and live her own life. And I get that in the end credits she was messing with the Darkhold. Really? Like, it doesn't really matter. The point is that we went from a completely wrapped up character arc to Scarlet Witch unraveling at the seams and doing whatever she can to grab this child to go get these fabricated kids that never existed in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, does she not understand that she could have just asked America to help her? Like, she didn't have to kill America Chavez to get her kids back. I feel like if she asked nicely, or at least helped train America, this whole thing would have been so easily prevented.
Okay. Now, you and your mom saw this film before I did.
Yes.
All right. And you came back and you could not, you and your mom could not stop talking about this film. And, you said to me, go ahead and see it. You should go see it. You should go see it.
I remember you came home after work and you saw the movie and you were like,
oh man, this was again not one of my favorites. I agree with this rating, a D. So I don't have anything else to say about that one.
And you know what else?
Yes.
The fact that Scarlet Witch not only went toe to toe with Captain Carter, Mr. Fantastic, the quote unquote smartest man alive, Black Bolt, and Captain Marvel, and then took out Professor X.
Yeah.
What kind of X Games mode was she on? Did she turn on the hacks for that fight? Like,
yeah. And this was the Illuminati, right? That's how they acted. This is the Illuminati?
Wait.
What's going on
The
here?
Illuminati was like,
Black Bolt? Yeah.
Why didn't Black Bolt just go, hello there, and then blow Scarlet Witch into a completely different universe?
I don't know. It's
like, Black Bolt is so powerful that if he were to even whisper, he could destroy planets.
Yeah.
So why did he have all the Illuminati behind him and then send off the absolute sonic wave at Scarlet Witch? Like,
all right, let's
I don't know what dude was waiting for.
Okay.
And then he screamed and like, I don't know what thread Scarlet Witch was spitting. She removed his mouth.
Okay. Let's talk about the next movie.
Please.
Okay. Thor Love and Thunder, released in 2022. What grade do you give Love and Thunder?
I don't hate it.
Okay. A B.
What I don't enjoy is that Jane Foster was established as Mighty Thor and then taken out in the same movie.
Yeah.
For a very jokey, lighthearted movie, I was surprised that they put in the whole cancer plot. You were too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't feel like it was well established. Like, it would have made sense if the Aether gave her cancer and they established this in Thor the Dark World. That would have made a bit more sense.
Yeah.
And Thor sent Mjolnir to protect her or something, but it started killing her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do remember when I heard they were getting the cast together, and they told us that Christian Bale was going to be the next villain in this film. I was very excited because we know Christian Bale is a talented actor. He's a very good actor. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was very excited for this film, but when I actually saw it, I thought Christian Bale's character was wasted. Not very memorable. As a matter of fact, I recall, I think I might have fell asleep. I think I might have fallen asleep on this movie. All right.
We saw it in theaters.
I know I did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we saw it in theaters. Love and Thunder. All right. I have nothing else to say about that movie. So B, right? All right. You rated higher than I would have. So that's cool. This is not my grade. This is your grade. All right. Next one. The last movie of Phase 4, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, released in 2022. You give that
a B tier.
A B. All right. Tell me.
They just decided, hey, we already took out T'Chaka. And T'Challa's going to have to pass away in the MCU for this to make sense.
Right.
So how about we don't stop there? We just take out Ramonda.
Yeah.
The part that I do not understand is why Ramonda had to die. Because the way she did was so contrived. She fell underwater and she swam to the surface and realized Ironheart was still down there. So she went back down and saved her. But the fact that she went up for air and then went back down and then back up means that she should have survived and Ironheart should have drowned because she was underwater for less concentrated time and took a breath. So I don't get it. And Ironheart didn't have any kind of suit or protective armor on. I'm pretty sure Ramonda still had the Kimoyo beads.
Yeah.
And then Shuri got stabbed.
Yeah.
She just walked it off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like she just cut the blade and then it covered the suit and then just went back to fighting.
Yeah.
And then she called her truce with Namor, which I would have ripped his wings out.
Yeah.
I would have ripped them both out.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, this was a challenging film to put together, for obvious reasons. We're not going to talk about that. But they had to work with, what they had. I wish they could have maybe reconsidered. I'm like you. When we left the theater and, we saw the scene of what happened to Ramonda, that was something that we could not get over. We still could not understand why they killed off that character.
Yeah, was it supposed to be a driving factor? Because I don't feel like it motivated Shuri any more than she already was.
I think that movie needed Angela Bassett to be there from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I mean that trailer speech, I'm the queen of the most powerful nation in the country.
Yeah.
And my entire family is gone.
Right. Yeah. I think
should have won an Oscar for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely agree. She should have won an Oscar. But she also should have survived to the end of the film. I wanted to see her again.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that Shuri doesn't really feel like ruling Wakanda, the role should have stayed with Ramonda, and then M'Baku showed up and he said, "I'll take it from here."
Yeah.
But it should have just been Ramonda. Then maybe M'Baku would be her right hand man, and then Okoye would be the left hand woman, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But also, the fact that she got mad at Okoye for failing to protect Shuri, even though it was essentially her fault, she didn't have to let Shuri go in the first place. And Okoye took some damage in that fight, too. It's not like she remained unscathed.
Yeah.
And Shuri did survive.
Yeah, now, we don't want to put this movie down. We gave it a B. I keep saying we, but you gave it a B.
Yeah.
I agree with that rating. It did have some very good elements, great action scenes, I
love the fact that they didn't just recast T'Challa or keep or delete the plans to make a second movie.
Right.
They kept going with it. They kept Ryan Coogler and they had Shuri take the role of Black Panther.
Right.
I think it really fits her, especially because in the comics, she also becomes Black Panther.
Right, yeah, and that's fine. And then you have the Namor. The villain. Right, and his people, and we know the story between, the Wakandans and the Atlanteans, right? I think they're Atlanteans. They have a history. So I thought that was very well done. Very well done. But yes, so B for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Sounds good. All right, that is the end of Marvel Phase 4. All right, so now we're down to 3 films. All right, the 3 films from Marvel Phase 5 that came out in 2023. The first one is called Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What rating do you give that film?
I think I'm gonna throw Quantumania to B tier.
B. Okay. B rating for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Darren Cross, everybody. We all thought he was dead, but no, they sandwiched him into the realm of irrelevancy until they needed him.
Yeah.
I feel like him being MODOK just did not make sense.
Didn't work, huh?
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm not a bad guy, I'm good too. And then he took out Kang or something. First of all, the fact that Kang got defeated by ants essentially shocked me, especially because this is a more powerful variant of Kang than He Who Remains. He Who Remains dying, I get, because he had no armor and no forces to stop him, but Kang? And then he got fed through the Shredder cartoon style. I kind of don't like Janet in this movie. She was so secretive about this entire thing when the quantum realm thing could have been prevented if she just sat them down and said, there's a very evil dude in the quantum realm, and if we let him out, he'll destroy the world. I'm sure I'm sure Cassie would have understood. This is also the 3rd time they've recast Cassie Lang. There's that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm sure Cassie would have understood if she knew that there was a world-destroying dude on the other side of that portal. Okay. If she had just explained what was going on. We don't really find out until halfway through the movie. Also, remember when Hank crashed in that ship? I was fully prepared for him to pass away in that crash and I could never see him again.
Right.
And dude is just fine.
Walked out, right?
He got ants, not a scratch on him.
Yeah, I thought the ending was very safe. It didn't feel like there was a lot of high stakes with the film.
The sun.
Yeah. Yes, right. Yeah. So you see Scott walking down the street like nothing happened. But all right. A B. All right. Okay. All right. Not bad. Next, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, 2023. You give that grade
S tier.
S, superior. All right. Like you said, all 3 Guardian of the Galaxy films receive an S. All right. What do you like about this one?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about this is that it's got all the Guardians in there. We have Rocket and Nebula establishing a bond because they were the only survivors. Star-Lord and the variant of Gamora trying to be friends at the very least. Gamora doesn't care, and Star-Lord's like, oh my god, you're being so mean to me. Groot just being the best Groot he could be. I will say Adam Warlock felt a bit wasted in this movie. He was knocked out for most of it, but I am glad that he joins the Guardians at the end. I like the High Evolutionary, or rather, I don't like the High Evolutionary. I like him as a villain, don't like him as a character. I mean, if you are so low as to take out a measly otter, you don't deserve to be a favorite character.
But he got what he deserved.
No, he didn't.
High Evolutionary?
He didn't die.
Well, he didn't have to die, but he was wounded very badly. That's something, right? Oh, you wanted him gone. All right. I
want him out.
I hear you. I love Rocket's backstory. I thought it was very wonderful, very moving.
Touching.
Yeah. And this is
I like Rocket being the forefront. And also Kraglin had a bit more of a role in this movie. Taking on the mantle of Yondu.
Yeah. It's so amazing. I mean, you take it for granted. These character, it's a raccoon. An animated raccoon. CGI raccoon.
Ain't no thing like him except him, and he's not a raccoon.
Okay. But the emotion that you get from Bradley Cooper playing this character.
You went off the deep end.
It's just it's incredible. I mean, it's I don't even know how to explain. It's kind of like Yoda. Like when you first meet Yoda for the first time. I know I'm always dropping in Star Wars, but
we are Star
when you
Wars
meet
podcast.
Yoda for the very first time, like this Frank Oz, gave life into this puppet like none other. And then look, I mean, this character is iconic. I mean, it's immortal. You know what I mean? Yoda is going to be around.
Well, Yoda is like 900 years old, so of course he's going to be around for like forever.
Yeah. So I feel the same way about Rocket Raccoon. So I really loved what was done there. That was my favorite part of the film. Seeing his backstory. All right, so that is Guardians of the Galaxy, and S for superior. The last film, all right, is The Marvels from 2023. Where are we putting The Marvels? What's the rating? The grade?
You know what? I think we're going to finish this episode off with an S tier.
You're giving The Marvels an S. Okay, all right. Let's talk about it.
Like I said, throwing Kamala Khan in anything makes it better.
She was the best.
I feel like here, Captain Marvel, they gave her some emotion, some driving factor. Like, I feel like her motive was she doesn't want to be the Annihilator. They call her the Annihilator because in the War of the Kree, she was trying to free them from the Supreme Intelligence, but she ended up destroying their world entirely. So she didn't mean to do that, though. So she feels upset about that. She doesn't want to leave that destruction behind. And so she's trying to fix it. And then we have Miss Marvel, who's like, they say, never meet your heroes. She loves Captain Marvel, but when Captain Marvel makes a questionable decision, she's like, I don't know, but they're still an awesome character. And then Monica being upset with Captain Marvel for leaving her behind after all those years, because Carol said she'd come back and she didn't. Also, she's kind of a jerk for not finding the Skrulls a whole planet. She had 30 years. Maybe she's just floating up in space for those 30 years.
All right. Anything else?
I like Dar-Ben as well. She had a really good motive.
Okay.
She wasn't just like, I want to destroy every world so I can have them all. She did it because she wanted to save her world at all costs. All
right, yeah, I recall, of course, we saw it together and we did a review about it just recently. And my feeling about the film, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you did, but it was still a good film. And I agree with you. Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani was wonderful. She was the standout.
Speaking of Iman Vellani,
yes, can I
finish? The MCU is Earth 1999. Even she knows that.
Okay, all right.
Even your MCU actors know that MCU is not Earth 616.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about that. Was
Earth
this an interview?
616 is like the comic.
No. I mean, like there was an interview that she did, and she talked about the Earth.
I don't know. I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
I looked up 1999 online, and I found even Miguel O'Hara knows.
No. What I mean is, okay, you mentioned that Iman Vellani.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, all right. Okay? Gotcha. All right, okay.
I Googled it.
Okay, all right, that's fine. But I agree with you.
She's a comic story. You should have her on the show.
Carol Danvers, Brie Larson, this was her better performance. I enjoyed her here more than I did in the first film.
Endgame.
She wasn't. I mean, it's a small role. I don't count Endgame. Monica Rambeau, also well done. Tiana Paris. So the three of them had chemistry. They were great. They were the best part of the film. I liked some of the action scenes that was done very well. So
the type of people who would like go to the coffee shop and just talk to each other.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't give it an S. I would maybe a B, but this is not my ranking.
What would make you do that?
It was great. Well, because I lost track of what this movie was about. Like I was, one thing I'd said, right? I was tired of seeing these. Is it the Skrulls? I had enough of the Skrulls after Secret Invasion.
I think we've all had enough of the Skrulls, especially how they were butchered.
Right, and they were bringing them back into this film somehow, and I didn't want that.
It was only for a short time.
Yeah.
And the Valkyries showed up and
Yeah.
pew, boom them right back up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's tally this up. So this is not bad. So you had 12 films you grade an S, 7 A, 7 films a B, 4 a C, 2 D's, and 1 F.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
All right. You know what? Look, we may have to just do another episode just talking about No Way Home.
All and right. How they butchered my boy.
Well, no, like I said, I don't agree with you. It's not butchering. We're just going to have to argue this out another time. All right. So this is great. Now, this is wonderful. So this,
high five.
Yeah, great. I enjoyed this.
We did good.
This was excellent. This was, you did your research on this. So we'll be able to keep this, right? We'll keep this recorded. So we want to know, what do you think? You know, if you agree with Keith's grades, like, do you grade these films differently? Let us know. Please leave a comment.
If you disagree, guess what? You're going to get a flight to Hollow one way.
I don't know. Look.
I heard they have a son now.
No. Look, these, how many films again? 33?
Yep, 33.
33 films. All right. No one is going to grade these films the same way as you. So you have to understand that people are not going to agree with you, which is totally fine. Is there a possibility, like maybe months or years down the line, that these grades may change? Or do you think it's going to stay where it is?
I think it'll be pretty finite.
Finite. Okay.
Unless I watch these movies again and I think
you might find something right.
Or they were worse.
And that's possible. That can happen. You know, like a few more years, you know, as you get older, you might appreciate No Way Home more.
No.
5 years from now than you do now. You never know. You never know. Okay. All right. So
I think it will remain in my heart as my least favorite MCU movie. That's crazy. The two sides of Spider-Man, my favorite, and the dungeon tier that is my least favorite.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. This was wonderful. Check us out anywhere. We have socials. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Oh, okay. You know what? It's funny. When I ask you to do it, you say no. And when I try to do it, you say, oh, you're taking my lines. All right, Keith, where can people find us? Make up your mind.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast, socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Father Son Galaxy. I'm not calling Twitter X. Our Patreon page, patreon.com/FatherSonGalaxy. Please donate. Check out our merch store, FatherSonGalaxy.mySpreadshirt.com. Email us at ker@FatherSonGalaxy.com for any business inquiries or just any topics, fan questions you want us to answer.
That's it. All right. We also have a website, right? You probably said that already. And email address. Yes, KER@FatherSonGalaxy.com. We have that as well. So you can reach us anywhere. All right. Please leave a comment and a like if you're watching us on YouTube. That is it, everyone. Thank you so much. This was fun.
I think we should do a tier list ranking all the Disney Plus shows, and then we're going to do a tier list ranking all the Spider-Man movies.
We could do that. Yeah. I think these tier lists are going to be fun to do. I have some ideas for you. That's a very good. We'll talk about it when we get offline. All right. So thank you once again, everyone. And thank you especially to our patrons, Baraxium and Mary B. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for all you're doing to help us grow this channel. Once again, thank you, everyone. So until next time, take care.
And we will see you again.